Hello and welcome back to Tech. In this video I'm going to show you to make an Amazon cardboard cutout flower with using an RGB LED and an Attiny85 microcontroller to create this very mesmerizing and very relaxing RGB LED flower. Let's get started. First, I'm going to examine this box, and as you can see, this is the flower that I'm going to use. And this box also contains other designs, such as two more flowers that are underneath these flaps. The one right here, and the second one over here. So what I'm going to do is use this design, because this one seems to be more interesting for this project. Next, I'm going to cut out this flap, which I can use as the base for the electronics. Next, what I need to do is roughly cut out the design. There we go. And as you can see, I need to remove these inner parts. Cannot do that with scissors. The only way I can do that is with using a X-Acto knife to get more of a precise cut. Follow the lines and cut it out, and it should look just like this. Next, what I'm going to do is take a permanent marker and copy the design that you see on this front and replicate it and put it on the back. And as you can see, I have completed, and there, a near copy. And there, the flower is now complete. Next, it's time to assemble the electronics. And these are the electronics that you're going to need to make for this project. Is a slide switch, an Attiny85 microcontroller, an 8-pin IC socket holder, an RGB LED common cathode, a Perfboard, a 3-volt button cell battery, and a 3-volt button cell battery holder. First, I'm going to take this Perfboard and then take the 8-pin IC socket holder and place it right here. Clamp it down. Solder it into place. Next, I'm going to take the battery holder with this side's positive and this side's negative, and I'm going to take the positive and place it right next to pin 8, which is the voltage input. Clamp it down, solder it into place. Next, I'm going to take this wire and solder it to pin 4, which is the ground of the Attiny85. And then solder it to the negative terminal of the 3-volt button cell battery holder. Next, I'm going to take this slide switch and solder it in it. And then solder it to the Perfboard. There we go, solder it into place. Add a little bit more solder so it stays in more secure. Next, I'm going to take this wire and place it right here next to pin 8. And then solder it into place and then solder bridge it to pin 8. Solder it in the wire and then solder it to the slide switch. Next, take a second wire and place it next to the positive terminal of the 3-volt button cell battery holder. Solder it into place and then solder bridge it to the 3-volt button cell battery holder. Solder it in the wire and then solder it over to the slide switch. Next, what I need to do is connect the 3 anodes of the RGB LED over to pin 5, 6, and 7. And I'm going to use these wires to do that. Solder the first wire to pin 7, pin 6, and pin 5. Next, I'm going to take this wire and solder it to pin 4, which is going to connect to the cathode of the RGB LED. I have right here this RGB LED, and what I don't like is that it has a focused point. What I need to do is modify this RGB LED. What I need to do is cut off this tip, which will cause the LED light to be more dispersed. Carefully, don't cut too deep, otherwise it won't work. And as you can see, it still works. And you can see the LED light's more dispersed. Next, I'm going to solder in the leads of the LED. And now back to the cardboard flower, I need to do some modifications to it. I have right here this screwdriver. What I want to do is make a bunch of holes in it. However, I found a faster way, is I'm going to use this drill. I don't really like the outcome of this flower, so I have a backup flower. And I'm going to repeat the same process, but this time with a smaller drill bit. This drill bit here was too big. This smaller one is going to be much better. And what I'm going to do is drill out a bunch of little holes. Doing this will cause the flower to glow much better with the LED light. And there we go, that looks much better. And as you can see, I repeat the same process with the second flower. And now back to the LED. What I need to do is do a little modification by bending the LED. Doing this will allow it to lay flush with the flower and allow the top of the LED to shine better. There, as you can see, the LED light is flush with the flower and it's going to make the flower glow better. Next, I'm going to place a dab of hot glue so that way I can glue the LED in place. Next, I'm going to take the second part of the flower and place it in the slot, and I want to make sure that it is centered on the LED. So that way the LED can shine on both sides. Next, I'm going to take this square piece of cardboard and turn it into a box, which will be the housing for the electronics. Next, what I need to do is cut out these square corners. Next, what I'm going to do is bend over these flaps, and I'm going to use these two rulers to do that. Lift up the first flap, carefully, and there, the flap folded perfectly. And now repeat the same process 3 more times. And now take the flaps, fold them up, and it turns into a box, which is a perfect housing for this project. Next, what I need to do is take some hot glue and glue the flaps together. And there we go, repeat the same process 3 more times. And there, the housing is now complete. Now I can go ahead and take this flower and put it on top. Before I do that, what I need to do is modify the slide switch, so then that way I can fit it inside the housing. And what I'm going to do is cut off these side parts that is on the slide switch, since I don't need them. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is take a measurement to figure out the center of the box. And there, as you can see, X marks the spot. And what I'm going to do is take the screwdriver and make a hole in the center of the X. Next, I'm going to take these wires and put them through this hole. Next, what I want to do is I want to solder these wires to the LED. And before I do that, I want to make a rectangle hole so that way I can be able to place a slide switch inside. And this way, I can turn the circuit on and off from the outside of the housing. And now I can take the circuit, place it inside, and now the switch can stick out of this rectangle hole. Next, I'm going to take the Attiny85 microcontroller and place it into the IC socket holder. Next, I'm going to take the 3V button cell battery and place it in the 3V button cell battery holder. Next, solder the wires to the RGB LED, starting with the negative wire to the cathode, and now the 3 positive wires to the anodes, which is connected to pin 5, 6, and 7 of the Attiny85 microcontroller. And there, the circuit is now complete. And now let's go ahead and test it out, and as you can see, it works. Next, I'm going to take some hot glue and glue the circuit into place. Next, take the bottom part of the flower and put it into the main flower. Push the wires through the hole so that way the flower can be flush with the housing. Perfect. And I'll take some hot glue and glue the flower into place. And now readjust the second part of the flower and glue it into place. And there, the project is now complete. Now let's go ahead and test it out and see how it looks in the dark. As you can see, this looks very nice, very mesmerizing. And as you can see, this piece of paper gives it a very nice back glow, and it allows the holes that is in the flower to light up a little bit better. However, it didn't quite meet my expectation, but still looks nice. And there you have it. Now you know how to make your very own Amazon cardboard cutout flower with using an RGB LED and an Attiny85 microcontroller. Thank you for watching SciTech Tech. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course click on the bell icon to be notified for future SciTech Tech videos. Till the next tech, goodbye.